So you have $100 to invest, but you're not really sure where to begin. I've been there and I understand. After all, everybody's saying, here's the next thing you need to buy. Here's the dip. Buy the dip. Dividends are a good thing to do. Oh, but make sure you invest in GameStop. Oh, but don't forget about Ethereum. Don't forget about market cap. What about market valuation? What? If you want to better understand how all of this works and how to actually get started with investments as a beginner, that's what I'm sharing with you in today's video. For my family, we actually started off with a negative $58,000 net worth. Today, our net worth is over $500,000 and it's growing to $1 million portfolio. We were in debt and we had no clue what the heck we were doing. Went through a lot of pain, went through a lot of agony, went through a lot of loss and a lot of gain, and that's why I want to make this video. Now, special thanks to Dio who made this comment and has an excellent question. So he is 18 years old and he wants to start in stocks with a money limit of $100. That is awesome. Time is on your side. Let's try to make you a little bit more wealthy by talking about how to get started with $100 as a beginner investor. So these are the things that I wish I knew when I was getting started. Let's get right to it. The first thing we need to do as beginner investors is actually have confidence in ourselves. Don't go in so worried that your $100 is going to crash and that you're going to lose all your money. Be confident with the decisions that you make. And in order to be confident, you got to have the right type of information. And that's what this video is for. But here's something that might make you feel a little bit better. In 1973, a Princeton University professor made a claim that a blindfolded monkey could throw darts at a newspaper's finance pages and it could select a portfolio based on the newspaper that would do just as well as one carefully selected by the experts. Well, it turns out as they went through this experiment, the professor ended up being wrong. The monkeys actually did better than the experts. So I just went to the pet store yesterday and I was looking for one of these stock picking monkeys. Went in, I said, hey, do you have any of the stock picking monkeys? And they looked at me really weird and I actually got escorted off of the property. So no, it wasn't actually a monkey, but what it was a robot computer that was randomly selecting these portfolios and outperforming the financial experts. If that random selection can outperform an expert, have confidence in yourself. Now, what might surprise you is I'm not going to jump right in and say, open this brokerage account, because that's not actually the first step we want to take in building up our wealth. There's actually a process, and it's a process that I'm working on called the Sweet Life Model, and I'm excited to share it with you here on the channel. But today we're going to dig into the part of the model that focuses on building up your investment portfolio. Step number one for beginner investors, before you take this and throw it into just any old stock, you got to look at your jobs matching retirement plan. Even if it means you can only put in 1% or $100 a month or whatever that may be, that has to be step number one. The reason why is if you think about it, employers have this program to say if you maybe contribute at 1% or 5% into your retirement, we'll match that. We'll give you some extra money into your future investment. But what you're doing then, if you're not participating in that program, is you're basically saying, hey boss, I don't need that extra money. I know you're trying to give me some extra money, but nah, that's okay. No, I don't need that. When is the last time that you actually thought to yourself, I don't want that raise from my job. I'm doing just fine. We always want a raise, right? That has to be step number one. Now, what you want to do is max out the match. Don't go above that because there's other ways to take advantage of your wealth building. What do I invest in within my 401k or my 403b? It doesn't really matter. They usually have target funds and it's just simple just to throw it in there and call it a day. Step two is where it gets more interesting. After you've maxed out your match, let's say you have an additional $100 a month that you now found, or you're skipping step one because your employer doesn't offer you a 401k or retirement match, you go on to opening a Roth IRA, individual retirement account. And the beautiful thing about a Roth is because you're going to pay with your net income, which means the income that you get after you pay taxes out of your paycheck, you then get to invest that money and it grows tax-free, which means when you go into the age of retirement and you start withdrawing funds from that Roth IRA, guess what? You don't have to pay any taxes on it. And you grow that up to a $1 million portfolio. That means in your future years, you're living off of $1 million without paying Uncle Sam any extra money. That is huge. Now, as of 2021, you can invest up to $6,000 per year into a Roth IRA. Our next step in step two is to max that out. We can start with $100, but we want to get up to the maximum amount that we're allowed to invest. Now, in a Roth IRA, you have a little bit more freedom to pick your investment. And here's one that I recommend you look into. Things that track the total stock market. An ETF, exchange traded fund, something like a VTI, a VOO, or one of the S&P 500 ETFs that you're most interested in. All you have to do is do some basic research, look for something that includes everything. I wouldn't put all your money into one stock. I would focus on having that diversification within the ETFs. Something like that total stock market index like a VTI. Maybe look into some international as well, and then tap it off with a few bonds bonds if you'd like to do that, just to balance out your portfolio. Makes it easy, and you don't have to sit there and worry about what the market's doing. You just put it in, and you let it go, and you let it grow. Now, this could be where you all stop, because in order to build up, if you only have $100 and you're trying to build that up, you aren't going to be able to max out to $6,000 a year in a Roth IRA. But in the meantime, let's say you can only put in $100 a month into your Roth. That's okay. $100 a month, and let's say you do that from the age of 18 to the age of 63. $100 a month, and you don't even increase it. You're only going to put $100 in every single month. With the stock market average of a 10% growth per year, if we do a basic calculation, in that 45-year time span, your $100 a month grows to a portfolio of $1,057,085 from only $100 a month. So if you're 18 and you're watching this video, get on it right now, Roth IRA, and the $1 million is tax-free in the future. Holy crap, that is amazing. If you're older than that, because I know a lot of you say, hey, I'm like 50 years old, and you're always talking to the 18-year-old. Hey, I'm not 18 anymore either, but what they have on their side as an 18-year-old is time. If you're older, let's say you're 50, you don't have time on your side. So that means you do have to scale up your income in order to get to that $1 million threshold. So your $100 a month may have to end up being $1,000 or $2,000 a month. It gets very serious the more time you wait, but don't wait any longer. If you're 50 years old right now, don't wait another day to think about it, because every day you wait, you're losing out on compound interest. Start today, start with 100 if you have to. If that's all the money you have, start with $100 and then get yourself up to maxing out the Roth IRA. Once you do that, you're now ready to move on to number 3. Now this is when you've maxed out your employer sponsored account, you've maxed out your Roth IRA at $6,000 a year, and you've got some extra money. Maybe you've been doing some side hustles. You're scaling up your income. You're cutting down your expenses. You're doing cool things like that. You got some extra money that you want to invest to grow your portfolio and become a millionaire. This is when you then step into the brokerage account. This is where you go into something like, I've used Webull, I use Robinhood, Stash. It really is up to you what you want to use. I personally find the easiest ones to use, because I like using the app and making it fast and simple, are things like Webull and Robinhood and Public. Those are probably my top 3 that I use, and they do offer free stocks for signing up. I'll link them in the description if you're interested in checking it out. Now that you've taken advantage of the tax benefits of the retirement accounts, you can then put your money into this and set it and forget it. And honestly, the same type of rules apply as far as looking into good quality growth ETFs. If you do something like that, it allows you to have that less stress-free approach. You don't have to worry about the technicals of a stock. You don't have to worry about market cap and valuations and things like that. You can go into something that basically gives you diversification right off the bat and just set it and forget it. Some of the highest account holders in Fidelity, when they did a study, actually forgot that they invested money in their Fidelity account. So these people went all of these years and they forgot about the money that they invested, and they ended up with the highest returns. Why? Because they weren't trying to time the market. They were putting the money in, letting it grow, and calling it a day. So imagine if you did the same thing. Max out your Roth IRA, and then you come in and you put in money into your Webull or your Robinhood or your brokerage account of your choice, and you just forget it exists. You just keep putting money in, and you're just like, yeah, whatever, not looking at it, just gonna keep putting money into it. If past performance indicates future performance, sounds pretty good to me. So how did I grow my portfolio? I did exactly what I talked about today, and I'm gonna keep doing it. That investment in a blend of a total stock market index, an S&P 500 index, internationals, and bonds. That's what I'm focused on, and I stay consistent with it every single time, and I'm always looking for ways to scale up my income. That is the secret for the beginners. Get in, start today, and stay consistent. If you found value in this video, make sure you subscribe for more. Here's the next video to check out, and until next time, we'll see you on the next video.